Hold on to your seats, veterans, because the moment every currency investor has been waiting for over a decade has finally arrived with an explosive development that is currently sending shockwaves through the entire global financial community. We are talking about a development so monumental that it completely changes the landscape of wealth for Iraqi dinar, Vietnamese dong, and Zimbabwean dollar holders, as the official Iraqi Gazette has just published a verified list of approved redemption centers authorized to process your exchanges. This is not just another rumor or flickering hope on a message board. This is a documented, government-backed infrastructure rollout that signals the transition from years of patient waiting into high-speed operational reality where the doors are swinging wide open for you. If you have ever doubted that this day would come, or if you have weathered the storms of skepticism and shifting timelines, you need to stay tuned for every single second of this broadcast, because we are breaking down the exact logistics, the security protocols, and the banking strategies you must implement right now to ensure you do not miss the window of a lifetime. The release of this specific list within the Iraqi Gazette marks a psychological and procedural turning point that simply cannot be overstated by any financial analyst or market watcher in the industry. For years, the concept of a revaluation has been discussed in hushed tones and debated in heated forums, but seeing the physical addresses and operational categories of these redemption centers in black and white provides the clearest confirmation to date that the infrastructure is fully ready for mass exchange. This act is the culmination of years of quiet, extensive logistical planning, international coordination with global financial institutions, and deep regulatory vetting that has been happening behind the scenes. By officially acknowledging these sites, the Iraqi government is signaling to both its domestic citizens and the international investor base that the era of policy preparation is officially over and the era of on-the-ground execution has begun, placing Iraq's economic reforms directly into the global spotlight. According to the information provided in the Gazette, the list is incredibly comprehensive, containing every single approved exchange location across Iraq's major cities, regional hubs, and vital economic corridors to ensure that no area is left without coverage during this massive transition. Each center is meticulously designated with a specific operational category, ranging from domestic exchange points serving Iraqi nationals to highly specialized international processing centers that have been specifically designed to handle foreign currency investors who may be traveling into the country for their redemption. This level of transparency is absolutely unprecedented in the history of currency revaluation events, as the government is providing exact physical addresses, specific operational hours, and the names of the regulated financial institutions that will be managing each individual site. Such precision is a calculated move to eliminate the confusion and misinformation that often surrounds unofficial exchange claims, allowing you as an investor to verify the absolute legitimacy of your chosen redemption location before you ever commit to a travel itinerary. Furthermore, recent reports coming out of these centers indicate that each site has been equipped with the most advanced verification technology available on the market, enabling the swift and accurate processing of massive currency volumes while maintaining the highest possible security standards. The immediate effect on the Iraqi dinar market has been nothing short of electric, with domestic trading volumes spiking as local citizens and international holders alike rush to organize their documentation and confirm their positions in the exchange queue. Currency brokers across the globe are reporting a massive uptick in inquiries from people seeking to confirm if their specific note series qualify for direct exchange at these newly listed official centers. While the surge in activity is expected to drive some short-term volatility in gray market pricing, many analysts believe this is actually the pre-launch phase that is conditioning the market for a formal revaluation announcement that could happen within just days or weeks of this infrastructure going live. For those of you holding the Iraqi dinar, this is the strongest signal you will ever receive that your readiness is no longer a hypothetical exercise, but a real-time requirement for your financial future. While the Gazette's primary focus is on the operations within the borders of Iraq, the implications of this rollout extend far beyond the Middle East and are particularly significant for those holding the Vietnamese dong. International banking experts are already suggesting that the activation of Iraq's redemption network could serve as a procedural blueprint or precedent for Vietnam's own anticipated currency restructuring moves in the very near future. Historically, both the dinar and the dong have been discussed in tandem within investment circles, and the idea of a synchronized or closely timed rate adjustment has been a consistent theme among top strategists. If Vietnam follows Iraq's lead, Dong investors could soon see a mirrored rollout of redemption centers, either domestically or through coordinated international banking partnerships that would amplify global liquidity and cement this period as a historic financial event. The Zimbabwean dollar also enters this narrative as a fascinating wildcard, as many believe that a successful rollout in Iraq will encourage Zimbabwe to finally formalize its own redemption process for holders of those historical bearer notes. While the economic situation in Zimbabwe is unique, the trend toward transparent, government-published exchange locations is a model that could be replicated to build international confidence and expedite the transition back into the global financial fold. Veteran analysts have described this Gazette publication as the operational green light that the world has been waiting for, emphasizing that infrastructure readiness is the final non-negotiable prerequisite before any actual rate change can be executed. This sentiment is echoed by United States-based strategists who note that such a bold move forces the international markets to finally take Iraq's monetary reform seriously, potentially leading to synchronized announcements from other nations that are part of this broader global currency basket adjustment. The consensus among experts is becoming crystal clear. The presence of officially sanctioned and publicly disclosed redemption centers removes the last major logistical hurdle standing in the way of a full revaluation. Financial market watchers are now shifting their focus to key indicators such as interbank transaction volumes, international wire clearance speeds, and the narrowing spread between street market rates and official central bank figures to gauge the exact timing of the rate change. Historically, when the gap between the official and unofficial rates begins to close sharply, it signals that an impending currency alignment is about to take place, and we have seen exactly this pattern over recent days with the dinar. While short-term fluctuations are inevitable as speculators try to capitalize on the news, disciplined investors are being advised to position themselves strategically and avoid impulsive moves based on rumors, focusing instead on the concrete facts provided by the official Gazette. While the Gazette focuses on the physical locations in Iraq, investors based in the United States and Europe must also consider the domestic banking landscape that will be responsible for receiving these funds after the exchange takes place. It has been reported that several Tier 1 and Tier 2 banks have been quietly expanding their foreign currency desks over recent months, investing heavily in upgraded compliance software that is specifically designed to handle large volume conversions of the dinar, dong, and zim. This includes the implementation of real-time anti-money laundering screening and know-your-customer verification systems to ensure that every transaction is fully compliant with international law. Industry insiders have even confirmed that select institutions have completed dry runs to stress test their system capacity, ensuring that when the floodgates finally open, investors will experience a seamless transition from physical notes to secure, fully insured deposit accounts without facing unnecessary bottlenecks or delays. The operational blueprint revealed in the Gazette confirms that Iraq will rely heavily on a structured, appointment-based system to manage the flow of people to these redemption centers. Each location will utilize an online or phone-based scheduling system to regulate the crowds, minimize security risks, and maintain the highest level of transactional efficiency for every person involved. This mirrors the systems used in other large-scale financial events, where high-value clients are processed discreetly and quickly to protect their privacy and safety. Once you secure an appointment, you can expect to receive a confirmation that includes a QR-coded entry pass, an assigned time slot, and a comprehensive checklist of every document you must bring with you to the center. For those traveling internationally, it is absolutely critical to coordinate your travel and lodging with these assigned windows, as the centers may have very limited flexibility to reschedule during what is expected to be a period of incredibly high demand. Safety is a paramount concern for both the government and the investors, which is why the publication also sheds light on the extensive security protocols that have been established at every single site. Redemption centers are being equipped with biometric access points, 24-hour armed guard rotations, constant CCTV monitoring, and even armored transport services for those delivering large volumes of physical currency. In many of the major hubs, the entire transaction process will take place inside highly secured zones with private rooms designated for larger redemptions to ensure total confidentiality. For you as an investor, this means you can expect a very high degree of personal safety. But you must also be prepared to follow strict security rules, such as prohibitions on using communication devices or bringing unauthorized guests into the secure areas. These measures are designed to protect you and to ensure that every single exchange meets the rigorous standards required by the international financial community. The Gazette has also outlined a very specific standard documentation package that will be required at all approved centers to prevent any delays in your processing time. You will need a valid government-issued identification, such as a passport or national identification card, along with clear proof of currency ownership, which usually includes your original purchase receipts. If you have lost your receipts over the years, you should begin preparing a notarized affidavit now to explain the source of your holdings. You will also likely need proof of your current residential address, such as utility bills or bank statements, and any financial disclosure forms required by your home country. For international investors, it is highly recommended to have these documents translated into Arabic or to provide certified English copies to ensure the staff at the centers can verify your information quickly. Missing just one piece of this puzzle could result in your redemption being delayed or referred to additional verification steps, which is something you definitely want to avoid during the opening phase. Although the Gazette did not specify the exact exchange rates in this particular publication, savvy analysts are passing the timing of the announcement for clues about when the numbers will flip. Historically, major fiscal changes in Iraq have been preceded by these types of infrastructure readiness signals, usually followed by a rate adjustment within a 30 to 90-day window. There is intense speculation that the initial rates offered at these redemption centers might actually include special contract levels that are higher than the public forex quotes to incentivize early participation from long-term holders. Others believe the rates will be harmonized globally at the moment of launch, to prevent any form of international arbitrage between different markets. Regardless of which theory proves true, the structural readiness implied by this official announcement makes it almost impossible for skeptics to continue arguing that the revaluation is a distant or hypothetical event. The operational activation of these centers is expected to trigger a massive wave of global market reactions that will be felt far beyond the currency world. Emerging market currencies in other politically sensitive regions could see a spike in speculative buying as investors try to identify which currency might be the next dinar. Additionally, global forex liquidity providers may begin to tighten their spreads in anticipation of sudden, massive capital flows moving through the system. Central banks in countries like Vietnam and Zimbabwe may even preemptively adjust their own reserve strategies to stabilize their domestic markets or to prepare for their own corresponding currency events. This interconnectedness is what makes the Iraqi Gazette's announcement a potential global inflection point that could reshape trade balances and investment flows across multiple continents for the next decade. Social media monitoring already shows a massive, unprecedented spike in investor sentiment metrics following the release of the Gazette list. Every major Dinar forum, communication channel, and investor podcast is reporting record-breaking participation as members compare travel plans and appointment booking strategies. This surge in sentiment is significant because it marks a shift from passive hope to active mobilization, which behavioral economists say is a primary precursor to actual market-moving events. Investors are no longer just talking about what-if scenarios. They are actively preparing to execute their plans. Financial historians have noted that currency events with this much public visibility and security requirements usually have a limited operational window to reduce political risk, meaning that those who are prepared to move first are often the ones who capture the most favorable terms. Veteran analysts project that the opening of these centers essentially starts a countdown for Iraq to complete the bulk of its domestic and international exchanges. During this intense period, rates may be tiered, with the early redeemers potentially receiving better terms or specialized private rates compared to those who wait until the very end of the cycle. If this projection holds true, immediate preparation is not just a good idea. It is an absolute essential for anyone seeking to maximize their return on investment. The Gazette list is the product of months of direct coordination between the Ministry of Finance, the Central Bank of Iraq, and their regional banking partners, proving that the country's leadership is finally working in total sync toward this common economic goal. When we look back at history, we can see striking similarities between what is happening in Iraq right now and previous successful currency redenominations, such as in Kuwait following liberation, or Germany following World War II. In every successful case, the government carefully managed public awareness, established physical redemption infrastructure, and then released the rate once the logistics were locked down. Iraq is following this proven sequence to the letter, which reinforces the credibility of the entire process for the international community. Investors who understand these historical timelines recognize that a government rarely undertakes such massive and expensive infrastructural groundwork without a definitive and immediate action plan ready to be triggered. For those of you planning to travel to Iraq for your exchange, the precision of the Gazette's list allows you to engage in very detailed travel planning for the first time. Major airports like Baghdad International and Basra International are expected to see a significant increase in traffic, so securing your accommodations near your assigned center is a smart move. You should also consider budgeting a few extra days in the country, just in case there are minor appointment delays during the high-demand opening period. Using private transport services that are vetted by local authorities or affiliated with the banks is strongly recommended to ensure you arrive at your appointment safely and on time. Remember, this is a professional business transaction, and treating it with the appropriate level of seriousness and security will serve you well. It is also vital for United States-based investors to keep the tax implications in mind as they prepare for this windfall. Any gain you make from converting foreign currency into United States dollars is considered taxable income, and depending on how long you have held your currency, it could be classified as either short-term or long-term capital gains. Some states may also have their own specific tax obligations that you need to be aware of before you spend a single cent of your new wealth. Consulting with a licensed tax advisor or an estate planner right now is one of the smartest things you can do to ensure you are protecting your gains through legal strategies like charitable giving or trust structures. Being prepared on the tax front will prevent any unpleasant surprises down the road and let you enjoy your success with peace of mind. One of the most important skills you can have during the redemption phase is the ability to negotiate. While the centers will provide a standard rate, high-volume holders or those with clear investment plans may be eligible for better contract rates or enhanced banking perks. Arriving with a professional attitude, a clear plan for your funds, and an understanding of what other banks are offering can give you significant leverage. Many Tier 1 banks will be competing for your business because they want to manage these high-value accounts, and they may be willing to waive international wire fees or provide you with a dedicated private banking team if you demonstrate that you are a savvy, literate investor. Do not be afraid to ask for better terms. The worst they can say is no, but the best-case scenario could add a significant amount to your final total. Within our community, many people talk about the informed private investor groups who are expected to get early access to these redemption appointments. While this is not an official government term, the concept remains popular because it highlights the importance of being positioned at the front of the line. The Gazette's move toward an appointment-based system has reignited the belief that being in the know will help you secure the first and potentially most lucrative exchange windows. To stay in this position, you must keep your eyes on verified communication channels and be ready to act the very moment the booking systems are reported to be live. Timing is a decisive factor in these events, and being a few hours late could mean being thousands of people back in the queue. As we move closer to the full public rollout, expect to see a massive surge in final training for redemption staff and heightened security measures around these listed locations. The news will likely start moving even faster than it is now, making it essential for you to filter out the noise and stay focused on the official updates. The Iraqi Gazette has given us the map, and the centers have provided the destination. Now it is up to you to follow through with the discipline and preparation that has brought you this far. This is not just the end of a long wait. It is the beginning of a brand new financial chapter for you and your family. History remembers those who were prepared, and by acting now, you are ensuring that you will be among those who benefit most from this historic global event. Stay tuned to Dinar for Veterans as we continue to track every development in this fast-moving story.